Hi, this is Kim with Best Acupuncture, and for the last 3 years I have been practicing changing how I eat, and that hasn't been easy because I grew up on sodas and TV dinners. My brain's been overstimulated with all the chemicals and additives and the use of different ingredients to fire off those different positive receptors in the brain, and today is probably one of the first days that I really understand what that means with my eating habits. Guess what day it is? It's errand running day, which means it's my day to come face to face with food addictions. Here in the US, we are like the best marketers, and that puts you and me, the consumer, at this huge disadvantage. And the thing is how crazy it is out there. Any shopping center you go to is filled with fast food joints. And those fast food chains, they're pumping all their aroma goodness right out there into the street. And I've never had Chick-fil-A. I drove by and that deep fried goodness was being pumped out all over the atmosphere. And I could smell it on the street over 250 yards away. I mean, okay, how strong do your grill fans have to be to kick that much smell out into the atmosphere? I wanted that. And here's the problem, because the research shows that, smells will kick off your digestive juices. Like I said, we're the best marketers anywhere. Have you ever wondered if these fast food smells being pumped into the street were real? I love this little mom and pop Mexican food restaurant, and it's going all day and it's busy. And the thing is, I can drive right by the place. I don't smell a thing. I don't smell fresh carne asada warming in the skillet. I don't smell the deep fried goodness of chili rellenos. Nothing. But every fast food restaurant I drive by has this forest of deep fried goodness surrounding their facility for about 200 to 300 yards, and it kicks off these weird cravings. Cravings that I don't get when I look at a salad. And I think that's weird because I actually feel great when I eat a salad, but I feel like crap after eating fast food. I eat a huge salad, consume something like 200 calories, and I'm fine until dinner. My energy level is balanced. I feel good. My digestion's working. I eat a hamburger and fries from a fast food joint, and I've consumed like 1,200 calories, not the 200. I don't feel satisfied after eating it, but some weird thing goes off in my head while eating fast food, and it's like your brain releases serotonin or dopamine, and there's this wave of contentment that comes with eating fast food. Yet, within 2 hours, I'm starving again. But hey, that's not the worst of it. Go into any store to shop and go to check out. And it's like this goody gauntlet, right? And these gauntlets, they're getting longer and longer. In fact, there's a bonus to establishing these lines to file people through to the cash registers, because you can set up these goody gauntlets. And the longer your line, the bigger the wait, and the more difficult it is to master self control. I mean, look at this caramel popcorn. I would love some caramel popcorn. In fact, when I look at caramel popcorn, I can see myself sitting on the couch watching TV, mindlessly crunching on one bite after another of caramel popcorn. And it's so mindless that if I had a big bag, I would eat 2/3 of it before I'd stop eating, even if I wasn't hungry. And just like fast food, it's going to kick off this weird sensation of contentment in my brain. And then after eating something like 1,000 calories, when I felt like I just couldn't get any more contentment, I would just stop. Because I've been working so hard at changing how and what I eat. Not dieting, because, dieting sucks and it isn't a long term solution. I've become aware of food in this totally different way. And these cravings that all this processed food triggers just on seeing it or on smelling it really got me thinking because I don't get that when I look at real food. And what I thought about was the huge 1998 settlement with the tobacco industry when we found out that big industry spent a ton of time and research learning how to manipulate our brains to respond and become more addicted to cigarettes. The Davidson Institute does a really good job of explaining how the ingredients in cigarettes combined to help encourage addiction. And I'm going to put a link to their article in the description below because the tobacco industry is using all these common ingredients. And unless you knew about their chemical reaction in the body, you would be like, huh, sounds safe. So, just to give you an example, sugar. They put sugar in tobacco. Weird, but okay. We use sugar every day, so it sounds pretty safe. But heated or burnt sugar releases a chemical acetaldehyde, and acetaldehyde combined with nicotine increases the nicotine hit to the brain. And guess what? That makes nicotine significantly more addictive. But here's the other thing, they also use natural flavor. And check out any processed foods food label. They all have natural flavor. And natural flavor is this list of over 2,000 chemicals and flavors used in food that don't need to be disclosed. So things like licorice, and licorice sounds safe. Well, guess what? The tobacco industry uses licorice in tobacco. Weird, but seems safe. But guess what? Licorice is a bronchial dilator. Okay, so if you dilate your bronchi, that means you can inhale more nicotine. So now we have licorice, which increases your ability to inhale nicotine, and add that to acetaldehyde, which increases your body's ability to uptake nicotine. That's how cigarettes have been creatively engineered to be more addictive with just common ingredients. And that brings me back to fast and processed foods. I don't believe they're innocent. Just smelling these foods or seeing an ad for these foods, that they're kicking off all these appetite and craving responses, they're not innocent. And for those of us who have spent a lifetime in the processed food jar, changing eating habits isn't easy because just on seeing these dead foods, they start triggering these craving responses in the brain and stomach, even if you're not hungry. So here's the action plan that I've started using to help overcome the US marketing giants and their over engineered processed foods, saturating any shopping experience. Changing eating habits takes a lot of effort. The biggest reason it can take so much effort is every time you're going to go out, you are going to be bombarded with crap. And even going to the grocery store can be an effort in self control. I personally think there's a reason why the vegetable section is the first section in the grocery store. I mean, I think they want you to get over your self control early on. So, after passing through the vegetable aisle, you get deeper and deeper into the store. And the longer you stay, the more you trip over goody goodness. And having to look for an item in the store is to their benefit because you're going to trip over the potato chip aisle, the candy aisle, or the bakery aisle at least 3 times. And let's be real, how much self control do you really have? I can tell you when I first started this game of eating healthier, I had something like 0, none. I might have made it through the potato chip aisle and the cracker aisle once, but the second time through, I had already seen the candy aisle and I had smelt and walked through the bakery. I was getting something. So realize that this is going to take time, and it can take a lot of time, especially if everyone else in the house is still going to consume fast and processed foods. But hang in there. Everyone starts to modify their behavior if one person maintains the course. Honor where you're at, but hey, trick yourself. Don't go get the big bag. Get the smaller kind of single serving bag and only get one of those. My husband and I finally graduated to a place where we would allow ourselves to get one treat when grocery shopping, just one treat. And we were able to grow from there. And I mean, okay, so sometimes our treat would be the whole pie. But when I say we grew from there, I meant that we got to the place where if we had a pie at home or some other treat, we wouldn't go buy another. And for us, that was very mature of us. So honor where you're at. If you're going to get something, get it. But just get the single serving. Don't go off and get the family size because the family size is going to allow you to slip into that mindless eating binge that usually follows these purchases. Whether it's ice cream or chips, if you get the single serving, you can't go into that mindless eating binge because you're going to hit the end of the bag way before your appetite stops. Keep healthy snacks in your car or, at least snacks that fit into your new eating lifestyle. You can do nuts or protein bars, but surprise, I found that I'm now sensitive to all those things. So I had to find something that I could eat and that supported my current digestion. And it's going to take about a half hour for real food to kick in. So if you're hungry and fighting the food demons, you've got a half hour wait after consuming real food before it kicks in. So with protein bars, they kick in pretty fast. So I've always kind of looked at them sideways. But all the marketing says they're good for you, and companies wouldn't lie, would they? What I do now is I keep fruit in the car, and I usually just need one apple or an orange. And if I'm starting off the deep end, I just exit to the car and eat an apple. I had just finished a hike and decided to run errands on my way home, take care of multiple things in one outing. I wasn't really hungry yet, but I just used a lot of calories hiking, so my body was ready to eat. The problem with being on the brink of hunger is the US marketing giants, they're all over any shopping experience. The smells of greasy, chemical infested foods are going to be saturating the air that you're walking through, and there's going to be all these goody gauntlets all over the place. So, without your trusty snack or eating before you leave, you're setting yourself up. So try not to go out hungry. The hardest part of changing eating habits is self discipline. And if you don't put yourself in the position to face self discipline, you're going to be a lot more successful. Okay, so what do we have? Well, those US marketers have made shopping a food addict's nightmare. Their goal is to kick you off any health eating regime you're in as soon as possible and back onto those dead foods. And I think part of that happens with the chemical makeup of these processed foods. They kind of trigger your brain. So let's go over the four things you can do to help yourself overcome their evil plan. So, first, realize that you're going to be hitting a goody gauntlet and prepare your best self defense. Honor where you're at. So, two, honor where you're at. And if you're going to do it, if you're going to buy something, don't get upset with yourself. Just change the game. Get a smaller bag and give yourself more time to change because with time and practice, you will change. And the third thing is keep your healthy snack in the car with you. My digestion has become super picky, so I'm limited on what I can have as my snack. And so now I choose fruit and I just make sure to throw some fruit in the car with me when I take off. And the fourth thing, and this is really this one's pretty important. Don't go out hungry. Eat your salad or apple or whatever before you step into that store, whatever store it is. Going out hungry is a food marketing company's dream. So with these four things, by doing these, you might find you continue your progress to change your eating habits. You don't slide backwards as much, and you get to find that day when you realize you are eating what works for you. Okay, until next time, I'll catch you on the other side.